Mossdale Session 90, and this is the first time I've been to the choke, to the project, Blackhead's choke, in nearly 4 months, I think. I was here last Sunday, I was in the cave last Sunday, and I brought, all I did was bring some scaffold in, and had a really quick trip to Assembly Hall, Blackpool Sands. And this is my third attempt to try and get going this year, although I doubt I'll get much done. So yeah, I was in the cave yesterday as well, and I think it's the first session that I've cancelled after getting underground. I was traversing the entrance series, and I'd had a crap night's sleep, and I just didn't feel I was going to get anything done. So before getting wet, I thought I'll call the trip and go home, get some sleep and come back, which I've done. I got a really early start today. I was underground for 9:30. So yeah, conditions on the surface were pretty miserable. I had to contend with, well, it was drizzling as I was driving down Air Valley Trunk Road, and the drizzle continued pretty much all the way here. And once upon a time I probably would have cancelled the trip. Well, I would have certainly cancelled going through the swims, but I kind of knew I'd be okay. I've set some markers in the stream just before Boulder Hall, and I've got a feeling that maybe water levels it's enough that water levels might come up a little bit, possibly. Only a small amount, I'm sure. But it was still drizzling when I set off on the ground. So this is where I started work. I think I started the scaffold August, September 2017, and this was the first point that I installed to work from, and the cage was literally just here, and there's remnants of the cage there, but most of it was stripped out to be used elsewhere. I spent quite a long time here. I think it was June 2018 when I made the breakthrough just down there, but I spent a lot of the time here. I was charmed by a little shaft and the draft, and I sunk a shaft called Left Field Deep here, which I filled in. For anybody who visits this part of the cave, be very careful in this area here, just beyond where the cage was, because it's slowly been undermined by flooding, and a lot of these blocks, like this one and that one there, there's very little holding them up, so I need to do a little bit of remedial work. That hole down in the bottom there has appeared as well. I'm sure that wasn't there before, the last time I came through. There've been a couple of floods since quite a few floods since I was here in May. A couple that would have spilled over into this part of the cave, no doubt. So I don't know what I'm going to find today. The plan is to work in the Alley Cat series again. I had a disastrous 4 sessions in May down there. I had a couple of close calls, and things just didn't go to plan. But I had a viral thing at the time, and I wasn't very well. And then that all cleared, and I ended up with some mysterious hip issue, which I think I developed cycling during lockdown, but I'm not sure. That's the up there is the boiler room. I've only been up there a few times as well. I think I went up there originally when I found it, just to have a look, and I think I surveyed it. I think literally 2 times I've been up there, maybe 3. And this is what I called rightism, which was the original breakthrough point. White Hotel, and this was the first chamber that was entered after the breakthrough, which was just made just up there. I've actually got a video from when me and Adele originally got through to here on that first trip. Flood now that I've opened up a sizable space for the water to pass through, it's floods are wreaking havoc in this area, and they're slowly washing it all open. This area is becoming very dangerous. I mean, when I originally broke into here, I had to enlarge a slot to drop down the pitch there, and it's, over the course of 2 and a bit years, it's washed all that open. And that was kind of the original first pitch. So yeah, like I say, anybody that visits this area, be very careful in here. So yeah, I'm never quite sure what I'm going to find down here, especially after a long layoff, because you know, flooding's definitely having a marked effect on the area, and I'm kind of hoping that it's going to do some of the work for me. But if there was any justice in the world, it would. But well, I doubt I'll be that lucky. And this is the blue room. Exactly how I left it. I was worried these waterproofs would get washed away. I've had a good soaking. Yeah, I really wasn't sure I was going to get back this year. 2020, I had really high hopes. Last winter, that I'd really get, make some significant forward progress. I was psyched, and then we had, the COVID lockdown. I had that viral thing. I think this is my 8th or 9th Mossdale visit this year, I think. 1 in Jan, Feb, 2 in March, 4 in May, 1 last weekend. So yeah, that's 10 trips. So I'm back in the Ellicat series. Again, my first time here since May, when I had a number of close calls. That stone that you can see landed right next to me. Session 88, I think. Yeah, and I was really lucky actually. It cracked the back of my hand, but that was all I escaped with, a sore hand. And this, I've got to be honest, this place freaks me out these days because it's just been slowly washed open, and it's becoming more and more. Well, it's becoming more and more obvious just how unstable all this is. But it'd just be a nightmare to try, and I'll need to bring up so much more scaffold to make it safe. So I've been in two minds whether to find an alternative, and coming back here today I am feeling like that might be the case, but we'll see. I'm going to go through into the trench just ahead and have a look into Wharfgate Chamber, because the plan was to use what scaffold I have to kind of forge a route into the mud boulder slope and see if the passage continues. But I've just been into Wharfgate and it looks lethal, but I will just take the camera through to get some footage, although I really don't want to. So yeah, that's the boulder that landed next to me, and this is what's come down since. As you can see, some of the I'm at the bottom of the blowpipe, which is pretty much probably the first proper pitch in Mossdale, and it's about 5 metres. If I recall, 4.8 to be exact. I was down here very briefly during one of the sessions in May to grab the pinch bar, and I had kind of like a little look about again, but I think the rest of this session is just going to be dedicated to having a really good inspection of everything again, because there are bits washed open and there's a definite sense of moving air as well down here in this section. And this is Featherstone Chamber. And that's the notch. Which when I first came here I thought was kind of the key. It's got some, just round the corner there's 2 solid walls disappearing down into a false floor. But again, it's just through tricky terrain to follow without shoring. And that was where the mud castle was. I actually broke into here August 2018. I had one trip before the weather turned bad for quite a few weeks. I think it was like 6 weeks. And I got back just before the big castle party of 2018. And started surveying, I think. Yeah. That's down towards Last Resort. And that's looking through to Pagrav and through to Diffler Passage. I've not been in there for quite a while. I don't think I've been in there this year. Really, I need to have a look. But there's a boulder bridge that you've got to climb over after passing the restriction ahead. And I had one of the boulders move on me. Well, it spun. And yeah, I've not been looking forward to going back through. But I need to, because the floods were definitely washing that open as well. Mostly it's just mud filled, but there was like a fairly clean washed section of passage which was unusable to the side. But I have wasted a lot of time down here, just to-ing and fro-ing from one thing to another and not really getting anything done. I think I said it in one of my earlier videos that I've kind of lost my way with it. But I guess it's just a case of just finding a definite point to push, because in this multi-level fracture zone there are a lot of options, and resources are limited. And I kind of don't want to pull them into one when there are so many. Yeah, I can definitely feel moving air here. This is a rope that I installed. Again, I forget when, but it's attached to some fairly questionable stuff. It was literally just in case while climbing down. It's a fairly easy climb, but it's just one of them you could screw up with complacency, and it's a fair drop to the bottom. So I decided to pluck up and come through to Diffler. I think this was the boulder that moved on me when the last time I came through here. The slot over there, that's Pagrav. So you've got to kind of like squeeze through that and then slowly cross over this boulder bridge and drop down. And this boulder bridge is holding up quite a lot of stuff. So I was right to be concerned, especially looking at it now. It looks even worse. So yeah, when I first broke into here, literally the slope went across here, and I did start to dig it out, but literally flooding has done the vast majority of the work. And I mean, that drops down probably 1.5 meters, maybe 2 now. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look and then skedaddle out of here. I'm just on my way out. Not a bad session. A little bit disappointing, but to be honest, I don't know what I was expecting. I went down to the lower choke and did some work down there.